I killed my husband with his own lies, one whispered secret at a time, until the boardroom echoed with his screams. But it wasn't murder. It was justice, served cold in the body of a stranger, a vessel I never asked for. And when the truth unraveled like a cheap suit in the rain-slicked streets of New York, I wondered if the monster I'd become was the one staring back from the mirror, or the one I'd buried 6 feet under his empire. My name is Sienna Hale, or at least it used to be. That's the name etched on the brass plaque outside my corner office in Midtown Manhattan, the one that read Senior Partner, Hale and Associates. I was the queen of corporate law, the shark who could gut a merger deal before breakfast and still have time for a soy latte from the card on 42nd. Life was a high-wire act, tight deadlines, power lunches, and a husband who looked like he stepped out of a GQ spread. Victor Langford, tech mogul, visionary. The man who built Langford Dynamics from a garage startup into a billion-dollar beast devouring AI patents like candy. We were the power couple everyone envied. Me in my tailored Armani, him in bespoke suits that cost more than most people's rent. Our Tribeca loft overlooked the Hudson, all glass and steel, a monument to our shared ambition. But ambition has teeth, and Victor's bit deep. It started with a whisper, a late-night call from his assistant 3 years ago. Sienna, it's bad. The SEC's sniffing around the Neuralink project. Neuralink was Victor's crown jewel, an experimental neural interface, part Black Mirror, part Silicon Valley wet dream. It promised to enhance human cognition, but whispers in the shadows said it did more. It could map minds, swap data streams, even relocate consciousness if you believe the fever dreams of his rogue scientists. Victor swore it was hype, but I knew better. I'd buried the red flags in legalese, signing off on NDAs thicker than my thigh, all to protect the golden goose. The crime? Not just fraud. Murder. Victor's right-hand man, Dr. Elias Crow, the genius behind Neuralink, had a crisis of conscience. He leaked docs showing the tech-fried test subjects' brains, lobotomies in code. Victor couldn't have that, so he arranged an accident. Elias's car went off the George Washington Bridge one foggy morning, ruled a suicide. But I knew. I'd seen the texts, the frantic ones Elias sent me. Sienna, he's gone too far. It's not enhancement, it's erasure. Victor played it cool, convinced me to take the fall for the cover-up. Just a little paperwork, babe. Sign here, and it's like it never happened. I did it for us, for the life we'd built. Deep betrayal? That's what they call love when it's laced with poison. The night it all shattered. We were at a gala in the Met's Temple of Dinder, champagne flutes clinking under Egyptian moonlight. Victor pulled me into a shadowed alcove, his breath hot against my ear. We need to accelerate Neuralink. Investors are pulling out. His eyes, those ice blue chips, flickered with something feral. There's a way. A prototype swap. Elias left notes. I laughed it off, sci-fi bullshit, but he wasn't joking. By dawn, I woke up strapped to a gurney in a sub-basement lab beneath his headquarters, the air thick with ozone and fear. Victor loomed over me, lab coat starched white, a syringe glinting in the sterile light. Trust me, Sienna. This is evolution. The swap wasn't clean. It was agony, like my soul being yanked through a meat grinder. I felt my essence uncoiling, threads of memory and muscle memory snapping as they funneled into him. Harlan Graves, the dying janitor they'd recruited for the trial, a ghost of a man in his 50s, lungs black from years of mopping corporate sins. When the fog lifted, I was staring at my own face, Sienna's face, smiling down at me. Victor, in my body, leaned in close. Welcome to the other side, darling. You'll thank me when the heat dies down. Heat. The SEC raid hit that afternoon, pinned on Sienna Hale for embezzlement and falsifying records. My empire crumbled while I choked on Harlan's phlegm. Escape was a blur. Harlan's body was a prison of aches, arthritic knees, a back bowed like a question mark, but it moved. I shuffled out through service tunnels, past dumpsters reeking of takeout Thai, emerging into the alley behind the building like a rat from the sewers. The city swallowed me whole, horns blaring on Broadway, steam rising from grates, the relentless pulse of New York that once bowed to me now indifferent. I holed up in a flop house in Hell's Kitchen, the kind with roaches the size of fists and walls thin as regrets. Days blurred into weeks, Harlan's reflection mocking me from cracked mirrors, sallow skin, liver spots, eyes that weren't mine but held my rage. Revenge wasn't a plan, it was oxygen. I started small, scavenging Harlan's life for crumbs. He had a niece, Mia, a barista in Queens with dreams bigger than her tips. She visited once, mistaking my silence for grief, but I saw opportunity. "Uncle Harlan, you look different." Different? I was a storm in a teacup. Using his social security scraps, I bought a burner phone, hacked into public Wi-Fi at the library. Victor, in my skin, was thriving. Press conferences decrying rogue elements in the company, my old firm folding under scandal. He was me, better than me, poised, untouchable. The first strike was subtle, a scalpel to the nerves. I remembered Victor's passwords, the ones we'd shared in pillow talk. Late nights in that flop, fingers trembling on a cracked laptop, I slipped into Langford Dynamics back channels. Not enough to alert alarms, just enough to plant seeds. Altered emails suggesting Victor, me, had known about Elias's suicide all along. Whispers to journalists, anonymous tips fed through proxies. The stock dipped 2%. Victor's smile on CNBC faltered for a split second. I felt it in Harlan's brittle bones, a thrill like cracking knuckles before a fight. But power like his doesn't crumble easy. He had layers. Board allies bought with stock options, lawyers sharper than mine, a private security detail that made the NYPD look like mall cops. And me? I was a ghost in a dead man's shoes, scraping by on odd jobs, wiping tables at a diner, the irony bitter as the grease. Mia noticed. "Uncle, you're scaring me. Talk to me." I couldn't. Not yet. Instead, I leaned into the shadows, studying Victor's patterns from afar. He kept my body pristine. Yoga at Equinox, brunches at St. Ambrius. But cracks showed. My allergies to shellfish ignored, a faint tremor in the hands that used to sign multi-million deals. The controversial decision came on a sweltering July night, humidity thick as guilt. I'd tailed him to a rooftop party in Soho, Harlan's bulk hidden in a borrowed trench coat. There he was, in my sundress, laughing with venture capitalists, the city lights haloing his stolen grace. Rage boiled, but so did clarity. I couldn't touch him physically, not yet. But psychologically, I could carve him hollow. Slipping a roofie into his drink was easy, the caterer's chaos my cover. He stumbled home alone, my body collapsing into our bed. What I did next? God, it haunts me. I broke in through the balcony. Years of penthouse life teaching me the weak spots, and watched from the closet as he thrashed in withdrawal. No, not drugs. Worse. I dosed him with a synthetic estrogen cocktail, Harlan's janitor access to the lab's leftovers. In my female body, it hit like a freight train, mood swings, bloating, tears for no reason. Victor, the alpha, reduced to sobbing over a rom-com at 3 a.m. I whispered through the door, my voice a gravelly rasp. "Feel that, Vic? That's what betrayal tastes like." He never knew it was me. Blamed stress, saw shrinks on Park Avenue. But I knew, and it fueled the fire. By fall, the tips bore fruit. A congressional hearing subpoenaed Sienna Hale. Victor testified in my voice. All honeyed lies, but the doubts lingered. Stock at 15% down. Whispers of class actions from test subject families. I was a specter, unraveling his throne stitch by stitch. Winter hit like a slap, snow blanketing the city in false purity. Mia dragged me to her tiny apartment for Christmas, string lights twinkling against peeling wallpaper. "Uncle, you're not yourself." She was right. Harlan's heart stuttered one night, a warning flutter. Time was slipping, but so was Victor's grip. I escalated. Forged docs leaking Neuralink swap tech to WikiLeaks, redacted just enough to point fingers at him. The twist? I implicated myself too. Sienna Hale, the villain who greenlit it all. Controversial? Hell yes. I was burning my own bridges, erasing the woman I'd been to bury the man who'd stolen her. But revenge isn't clean, it's a bloodletting. As the new year dawned, fireworks exploding over the East River, I stood on the Brooklyn Bridge, Harlan's coat flapping like broken wings. Victor's empire teetered, but he was rallying. A press blitz, my face beaming from billboards. I needed inside. One last play. Mia's boyfriend worked security at Langford. A little blackmail, his side hustle selling bootlegs, and I had a keycard. The heist was set. Infiltrate the gala anniversary bash, corner him in the labs below. But as I trudged through the slush, a call came on the burner. Unknown number. Victor's voice, but in Harlan's timbre? Impossible. Sienna? We need to talk. It's not what you think. My blood froze. How? The line went dead. The hook twisted deeper. That call gnawed at me like a rat in the walls. Victor, in my body, couldn't know Harlan's number, unless the swap wasn't total. Fragments lingered, echoes of consciousness bleeding through the neural net. Neuralink's dark promise. Not just relocation, but entanglement. Mine's linked, forever. I dismissed it as paranoia, but now? Every mirror showed Harlan's jowls sagging, but for a split second, my green eyes flashed back. Was he feeling me too? The thought propelled me forward, a junkie's itch I couldn't scratch. The gala was black-tie opulence at the Waldorf Astoria, chandeliers dripping light like liquid gold. I cleaned up as best Harlan's frame allowed, rented tux from a pawn shop on Canal, shoulders padded to hide the stoop. Mia's boyfriend, Eddie, slipped me in through the service entrance, sweat beading on his brow. This better be worth it, old man. You look like death warmed over. He had no idea. The ballroom thrummed. Power brokers in cummerbunds, models orbiting like satellites. And there, center stage, Victor in my crimson gown, toasting the future of humanity. My lips curled. Those were my veneers, my smile. He owned it all. I ghosted the edges, Harlan's limp a perfect disguise among the drunk uncles. Champagne burned going down, alien in this throat. Up close, the theft hit harder. My body's poise, the way it tilted ahead, just so. Betrayal deepened, a knife twist. He'd taken more than flesh. He'd perverted my essence, turning Sienna Hale into a puppet for his sins. Elias's murder? I'd confessed in a forged email chain, taking the heat to shield Victor during the initial probe. For us, he'd said, kissing my knuckles. Now those hands signed his pardons. The descent to the labs was a freight elevator ride into hell. Creaking cables, the hum of servers like distant thunder. Keycard buzzed green, corridors sterile white, lined with humming pods where Neuralink dreams fermented. I knew the layout from late nights reviewing blueprints, back when I was queen. Victor's office, corner suite, overlooking the void. But he wasn't there. A shadow moved. Security? No. A figure in scrubs, face obscured by a hood. Harlan? That you? The voice, female, edged with fear. Lena, Elias's protege, the one who'd vanished after the suicide. She spun, eyes wide. You're not. Oh God. Recognition dawned. Not Harlan, but the ghost in his skin. Sienna? How? I grabbed her arm, bones brittle under my grip. Explain. Now. Words tumbled. The swap wasn't Victor's idea alone. I'd authorized it, half drunk on wine and ambition, during a board retreat in the Hamptons. You said yes. To test it on yourself first, prove the tech. Lies. Memory flickered. Yes, my signature on the waiver, blurred by martinis. But the betrayal. Victor rigged it, funneling me into Harlan while he jumped ship. And the secret? Elias didn't suicide. Victor pushed him, but I drove the car that night, blacked out on roofies he'd slipped me. You covered it, Sienna. Said it was mercy. My world inverted. Not victim, accomplice. The crime I'd borne wasn't mine alone. It was shared, a pact sealed in blood and ambition. Lena thrust a drive into my hand. Proof. Backups from the prototype. It shows the entanglement. Your minds are linked. He's feeling your pain, your rage. It's why he called. The piece is slotted. His stress, the tears. I was unraveling him from inside. Footsteps echoed. Victor, descending with an entourage. I bolted, drive burning in my pocket, Lena's warning chasing. Destroy it, or it destroys you both. Back in the streets, snow melting to slush under sodium lamps. I holed up in a 24-hour laundromat, machines churning like my gut. The drive, videos, logs. Me, laughing as Elias begged. Victor's voice, post-swap. She's out. Clean slate. Rage morphed to nausea. Was revenge justice? Or just another lie I told myself? I hit back harder. Leaked the Elias footage to a podcaster in Brooklyn, the kind who thrives on corporate rot. It went viral overnight. Langford murder trending, my face, Victor's, on every feed. Protests outside HQ, pitchforks metaphorical but sharp. Stock plummeted 30%. Victor's response? A tearful interview in my body, blaming deep fakes and disgruntled exes. Exes? That stung. Our marriage, dissolved in a courthouse filing I'd never signed. Controversy brewed. Pundits on Fox called it a witch hunt. CNN dissected the feminine vulnerability in his breakdown. Me? I watched from a diner booth, Harlan's fingers greasy on a fork, plotting the kill shot. The link, use it. If our minds tangled, amplify the torment. I sourced black market nootropics from a dealer in the village, pills that jacked neural activity. Swallowed a handful, lay in a fever dream on a Murphy bed. Visions assaulted. Victor, in our loft, clawing at my skin, screaming my name. Sienna, stop. I pushed, flooding the connection with memories. Our wedding vows twisted into accusations, Elias's splash echoing. He cracked publicly 2 weeks later. A board meeting leaked live, my body unraveling mid-sentence, sobbing about ghosts in the machine. Resignation rumors swirled. Power shifted. Interim CEO, a rival I'd mentored. Sweet, but not enough. I needed face-to-face, the confrontation to end it. Mia's suspicion peaked. She cornered me in her kitchen, steam from ramen fogging the air. Uncle Harlan, you're not right. Those eyes, they're hers. Hers? Sienna's. She'd seen the news, pieced the improbable. I confessed in fragments. The swap, the rage. She recoiled, but didn't run. Help me, I rasped. One last thing. Her hacker friend traced Victor's safe house. A cabin in the Catskills, retreat my ass. Escape pod for fallen kings. The drive up was harrowing. Harlan's lungs wheezing against the incline, wipers slapping rain like accusations. Mia at the wheel, silent judgment heavy. This revenge. It'd make you whole. No, but it would end him. The cabin loomed, logs and lies, lights flickering through pines. I slipped in alone, crowbar from the trunk heavy as guilt. Victor, in my silk robe, paced by the fire. I knew you'd come. He turned, my face gaunt. My eyes, mirroring the storm. The link. It's you, isn't it? Harlan. Laughter, brittle. Or what's left? We circled, words weapons. You took everything, I growled. My life, my body. He smirked, my lips curling cruel. We built it together, see. The fraud, Elias, you drove. The drive's truth hung, but I parried. Lies. You rigged it. He lunged, not physical, but mental. The link flared, pain lancing my skull. Visions, his memories, mine, a blender of sins. I swung the crowbar, not to kill, but shatter. A bust of us on the mantel, porcelain wedding gift exploding. He howled, clutching his head. Stop. The prototype, it's reversible. Lie? Truth? The fire crackled, rain lashed windows. Mia's voice outside. Sirens? No, her banging. Uncle. Cops. Betrayal again? She'd called them, scared of the monster I'd become. Victor collapsed, whispering. End it. Swap back. Temptation clawed. But as blue lights flashed, I fled into the woods, Harlan's heart pounding finale. The twist loomed, unspoken. The Catskills night swallowed me whole, branches whipping Harlan's face like judgmental fingers. Sirens wailed distant, Mia's betrayal a fresh wound, not malice, fear. I can't let you do this, she'd sobbed as I ran, her phone already dialing 911. Smart girl. But it bought Victor time, and me? A head start into chaos. I hitched back to the city on a logging truck, the driver's country drawl cutting through static radio. You look like hell, Pops. Running from the missus. If only. The link pulsed erratic now, Victor's panic bleeding through, flashes of him barricaded in the cabin, my body curled fetal, whispering pleas to empty air. Dawn broke gray over the Holland Tunnel, toll booths looming like gates to judgment. I ditched the burner, grabbed a new one from a bodega on Delancey, the clerk's eyes narrowing at Harlan's tremors. You good, man? No, but alive. The leaks had metastasized, congressional probes, FBI sniffing Neuralink's military ties. Victor's empire hemorrhaged, layoffs in the thousands, headlines screaming, tech titans fall. Was Sienna Hale the mastermind? Mastermind. The irony burned. I'd borne his sins, only to have them repainted as mine. Holed up in a no-tell motel off the turnpike, neon buzzing vacancy, like a dirge, I pored over the drive's remnants. Lena had slipped in a kill switch, upload the full logs, and the swap tech imploded, servers frying worldwide. But cost? Exposure. My complicity laid bare. The waiver, the drive, Elias's final screams echoing in my own voice. Controversial didn't cover it. I'd be the villain, not victim. Public crucifixion, trials, tabloids devouring the killer couple's corpse. Yet Victor walked free in my skin, therapy spin doctoring his breakdown as grief. The decision gnawed, 3 days, Harlan's body wasting. Fever spiking, lungs drowning in phlegm. Mia texted, "I'm sorry, but you're destroying yourself." Herself? Me. Destroying Sienna's legacy. On night 4, thunder rumbling like God's laughter, I triggered it. Fingers clumsy on the laptop, code executing in the dark. Alarms blared virtual, Langford servers smoking in data centers from Jersey to Silicon Valley. Victor felt it first. Our link a supernova, his scream mine, my agony his. I convulsed on the thin mattress, visions assaulting, boardrooms aflame, patents dissolving, his, my, face on every screen, unraveling. Fallout hit like a nor'easter. By morning, CNN looped the breach. Neuralink sabotage. Consciousness swap tech exposed as hoax. Not hoax, horror. Test subject family sued, class actions stacking like Jenga. Victor vanished from feeds, my body institutionalized at a discreet clinic in the Berkshires, exhaustion. But I knew. Plotting countermove. The powerful don't fold, they pivot. My countermove? Go public. Riskiest play yet. I reached out to Lena via dead drop. A locker at Penn Station. Her note crisp. Meet at Elias's old lab. Midnight. Come alone. Trap? Probably. But the Antag's moxie demanded it. The lab ruins squatted in an abandoned warehouse in Red Hook, graffiti-tagged bricks weeping rust. Rain sheeted down, turning cobblestones to mirrors. Lena waited, silhouette sharp against sodium glow. You did it. The upload. Her eyes, shadowed. But Victor's ahead. He's rallying remnants. Black Ops funding the reversal. Reversal. The word hooked deep. How? She led me inside. Flashlights cutting dust motes. Consoles gutted, screens cracked like eggshells. The prototype, core survived. Buried code. If we sync, you swap back, but it kills the host. Harlan. Me now. Sacrifice. Or, she added, voice steal, we trap him. Lure with the link. Plan coalesced. Fake a meet. Amplify the entanglement till it overloads. His mind fries in my body. Mine reclaims it. Clean? No. Murder by proxy. My hands clean, but soul-stained. Controversy peaked in execution. We broadcast from a pirate signal, dark web to mainstream, hackers amplifying. I spoke in Harlan's rasp, face obscured. This is Sienna Hale. The woman you knew? Stolen. Victor Langford murdered for power, swapped souls to escape. Proof dumped. Audio, vids, my waiver recanted as coercion. Twitter, X now, exploded. Soul swap scandal, feminists decrying body autonomy theft, tech bros calling hoax. Debatable? Absolutely. Was I hero or hack? Victim or vigilante? Victor bit the bait. Text via link, psychic Morse. You want back in? Hudson Yards. Now. The yards gleamed post-rebuild. Vessels honeycomb a skeleton against night sky. I arrived solo, Lena monitoring remote. He waited on a skybridge, my trench coat billowing. Face, my face, gaunt triumph. Sienna. Or Harlan. Whatever. Wind howled. City below, a glittering abyss. Give it up. The core's mine. Lies. But the link thrummed, our psyches brushing like live wires. We talked, or dueled. Elias, I pressed. You pushed me. His laugh, my timbre. You break too late. Shared sin. Truth sliced. The secret buried wasn't just his. It was ours, a marriage forged in fire. The climb? Power. But love? Twisted. I did it for us, he echoed my old line. Rage crested. I triggered Lena's amp, portable rig in my pocket, nootropics on steroids. The link ignited, memories flooding, his guilt mine, my fury his. He staggered, clutching temples. Stop, please. Climax crested brutal. He lunged, hands, my hands, around Harlan's throat. We grappled, teetering on the edge, rain slicking steel. You think you're better? He gasped. You're me. No. I was more. Knee to groin. My old move. Sent him reeling. The amp peaked, overload. His eyes rolled, body convulsing, my form crumpling like discarded silk. Sirens wailed Lena's call? Or his security? I kicked free, Harlan's frame screaming protest, and fled down service stairs, the bridge lights blurring through tears. Back in the motel, the links severed. Silence. Profound. News broke at dawn. Tech Air found unconscious. Neural overload suspected. Victor, in my body, comatose. Reversible? Doctors puzzled, but Lena whispered. It's done. The swap's locked. Me, trapped, but free. Twists lingered. Mia visited, eyes soft. What now? Now. Rebuild. But as Harlan's reflection grinned back, Sienna's fire and dead eyes, I wondered, victory or voluntary prison? Comatose. The word looped in my skull like a bad jingle. Harlan's motel TV droning pundits dissecting Victor's tragic collapse. My body, Sienna's shell, lay hooked to machines in that Berkshire's clinic, monitors beeping a limbo rhythm. Doctors called it exotic catatonia, neural pathways fried like overcooked wiring. The link's death throes had done it. Our minds entangled so tight. The snap severed more than connection. It shattered him. Me? I felt the echo, a hollow where rage once roared. Victory tasted like ash, gritty on Harlan's tongue. The world spun on without us. Langford Dynamics splintered, assets auctioned to vultures, Neuralink branded toxic waste. Protests swelled, justice for Elias outside courthouses, families I doomed now martyrs. My leaks, once scalpel, became sledgehammer. FBI raids on board members, indictments stacking. Victor's allies scattered, rats from a sinking yacht. Lena went underground. Her last message a post-it under my door. You're the truth now. Own it. Own it. In this husk? Mia's forgiveness came slow, brewed over diner coffee in Astoria, her shift ending with grease-stained apron. I called the cops cause. You scared me, uncle. Or Sienna. Whoever. Her eyes, brown and steady, pinned me. But I get it. Betrayal like that? It hollows. We talked, really talked, for the first time. Harlan's niece, Spitfire with a sociology degree gathering dust, saw through the grime to the storm beneath. What if you don't swap back? What then? Then? Live. Borrowed time, borrowed skin. But living meant decisions, the controversial kind that split dinner parties and therapy groups. First, the truth, partial. I went public, not as Sienna, but Harlan Graves, retired custodian, witness to the horrors. Oppressor in a community center in Flushing, folding chairs squeaking under reporters' asses. My voice cracked, gravel over silk. I saw things in those laps. Souls stolen, lives erased. No body swap reveal. That'd land me in Bellevue. Straitjacket as delusion. But enough. Affidavits, timestamps matching the leaks. The twist? I implicated Sienna Hale as co-conspirator, the ambitious wife who'd signed the Devil's Pact. Self-sabotage? Or absolution? Pundits raged. MSNBC hailed every man's courage. Breitbart sneered janitor's grudge. Debatable legacy. Hero or hack? Whistleblower or wrecker? Victor's fate hung the real hook. Coma deepened. Lawyers petitioned to pull plugs. Quality of life, the euphemism. His family's, mine, once circled. Cold waspy relatives from Connecticut, sniffing inheritance. I crashed the hearing in Hartford. Harlan's bulk in an ill-fitting suit from Goodwill, badge clipped like armor. Judge's gavel cracked like Judgment Day. Mr. Graves, your testimony? I stood, knees popping. He's in there. Suffering. Proof? The drive's echoes, brain scans Lena smuggled showing anomalous activity. My activity, bleeding through. Let him wake. Face it. Controversy exploded. Euthanasia debates reignited. Ethicists on cable news decrying playing God with ghosts. I played anyway, forcing the stay. Awake he came, 3 months later, spring thawing the Berkshire's frost. Lena alerted me, hacked feeds, her vigil unceasing. I drove up in a rented Corolla, Mia shotgun, her hand tentative on my arm. You sure? No. The clinic's lobby smelled of bleach and regret, nurses parting like Red Sea. Victor, in my body, sat by a window overlooking greening hills, wheelchair-bound, my once-toned legs atrophied to sticks. He turned, green eyes, mine, dull but sharp. Harlan. Or you. We faced off in a sunroom, ferns whispering secrets. Sienna, he breathed, voice my alto, cracked. The link. It's faint, but I feel you. The pain. Betrayal reversed. He'd borne my unraveling. The estrogen echoes, the neural storms. I thought it mercy, he murmured. The swap. Hide you from the fall. Lies. Partial truth. The secret's core. Elias's push wasn't murder, but assisted. His plea. Cancer terminal. Victor's tech his escape. I'd driven. Yes, but with consent, blacked out or not. We killed together, Victor confessed. For love. For legacy. The twist gutted me. Not victim, not villain. Partners in perdition. The crime I'd borne? Ours, a shared noose. Rage deflated, leaving exhaustion. Why me? I rasped. Into this. His smile, my lips thin. You were strong. Harlan. Expendable. Expendable. The janitor's life, mopped away. But in that gaze, regret flickered. His, mine, entangled eternal. Decisions cascaded. I could have ended him, slipped digital poison, Lena's tools ready. Controversial climax. Mercy kill, Swap's architect reaping his design. But I walked. Instead, testimony. Joint confession, my words through Harlan's mouth, his through my throat. Trials blurred. Ours a media circus, court TV reborn. Guilty pleas, reduced sentences. House arrest for him in my body, community service for me and his. Debatable justice, redemption or cop-out. Forums lit up. Some hailed soulmates' atonement. Others slap on the wrist for elites. Ending? No tidy bow. Victor, Sienna now, legally, faded to obscurity, writing memoirs in a Hamptons exile, my byline twisted. Harlan's shell endured. 2 years till the heart gave out on a bench in Central Park, leaves turning gold. Mia scattered ashes in the Hudson, her toast. To the woman who borrowed a life to save her own. Mia thrived, scholarship in my name, fighting tech overreach. Was it happy? Tragic? You tell me. I reclaimed nothing physical, but the vengeance? It freed the ghost. In those final breaths, no link, no echo, just peace, staring at the skyline I'd once ruled. New York pulsed on, indifferent, as I slipped away. The real swap? From prisoner to phantom, haunting the machine we built. And if that's not American as apple pie and arsenic, what is?